Hey everyone, what's going on? Mark here from TST Industries, back in the garage, and behind me I have our 2024 Yamaha MT-09, and in this video, Bart will be guiding you through the installation process of our TST Industries Elite-1 Fender Eliminator for the 2024 and up Yamaha MT-09. Now this is the 4th generation MT-09 in their lineage. With that came a complete redesign, and due to the redesign, we had to head back to the drawing board and design some new Fender Eliminator options that we made available for you. Now, as the moniker Elite-1 suggests, it is just that. It is elite. It is the premier offering in our Fender Eliminator options, and that is made up of undertail closeouts that cover up the holes left behind by removal of your OEM Fender and brackets of your choice. Now, for this particular model, we do have 3 bracket options in 2 mounting locations. We have our high mount Fender Eliminator options, and with that, there are 2 brackets available with our adjustable bracket that is a CNC machined anodized aluminum, fully adjustable assembly. And then of course, our stationary fixed high bracket that is a laser cut and bent steel bracket that is powder coated black. But if you are looking for something a little bit more sleek and hidden, we do obviously offer a different mounting location, and that is our low mount bracket. Again, a laser cut and bent steel bracket that is powder coated black. All of these options include our undertail closeouts and the mounting hardware necessary to perform this installation. Now, when it comes to our undertail closeouts, this was a unique bike to design one for, as this is a 3-piece assembly. We do have our CNC machined and anodized black undertail closeouts that actually cover up the holes left behind from the mounting locations. And then we have this small sintered nylon wire closeout that covers up the hole left behind where your wires are routed on your OEM Fender. Now, all of our Elite-1 brackets include all of these options, but what they don't include by default is our license plate light or external signal options. And it is important to note that by removing your OEM Fender, you do lose those crucial components. We have modular solutions available for you, so you are only stuck buying exactly what you need and want, and you're not stuck paying for for items you may not use. So please be sure to check that out. We have our universal license plate light as well as our external signal solutions available for your purchasing pleasure. Now, all of these installation processes are pretty straightforward. The tools are listed in the title card, and Bart will guide you through the installation process from beginning to end without cutting any corners. And we do this so that you can avoid spending more money at the dealership or at a shop and become more familiar with working on your motorcycle. And in this video, Bart will be guiding you through the installation process of our Elite-1 low mount Fender Eliminator option. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in.
In the first step, we'll be removing the license plate off the bike. I like to save the OEM license plate hardware just in case we need to reuse it on the new deployment. After the license plate is off, we can go ahead and take off the seats. And now we will need to remove some of the quick fasteners off the bike here. We have 1, 2, 3 on each side. These are 1/4 turn. Here's a Phillips screwdriver to pop them out. And then can grab the head and just pull out. Next, I will grab a 4mm Allen, and we will extract the following 2 fasteners. This one here, and this large head one here. This is a symmetrical bike in regards to these fasteners, so I will now do that on the other side. At this point, we will hop up here in the aft section. We have 2 push fasteners. Press down on the centers. That unlocks them. Once you extract them, you push the center back out. Now that's ready for reinsertion. These 2 fasteners will unlock this panel. This panel moves backwards to unclip and rolls out like that. Now we've exposed 2 additional fasteners we will have to take out. Total of 6 from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these use a 4mm Allen. I will start here. Now the tail fairings are free to come out. They do have some interference geometry here between this panel and the tail light, so we'll need to be very careful. We'll move up front and get this rotated towards outboard direction, and that will slide this component backwards and disengage this locking feature from its window. Put that to the side, repeat the step on the other side. And now we have access to the fasteners for the fender. Before we go ahead and drop those fasteners, we need to unhook all of the electrical connections here, which are the signal connectors, which you see right here, white and black. And then there's one additional one going across the left side of the subframe to here. It's a gray connector. That is your license plate light. I'm going to start here. I'm going to pry up on the locking feature of the connector, pull this out, and I'll have it back here. These connectors can be done in place, or you could dislodge them like so. For ease of manipulation, press on this locking feature and that will unlock it, and then you withdraw the connector. Now we do have some cable management guides here in the way, so we will progressively remove the wires from those cable management positions. There is a tab that goes across from the right side to the left. These come out from under, and here you have the opposite from the left side to the right. Again, you just undo it like so. Now all of your wires are free here, and if we remove the fender, they just go down and out of the bottom hole. Now with the help of a 12mm socket, I will be removing these two fasteners from the fender. Same on the other side of the bike. Once I get to the last one, I will support the fender while I undo the fastener. Once that last screw is out, this is ready to come down. I'm going to feed the wires in from the outside, from the inside to the outside, making sure that they don't snag. And now our OEM fender's off. The next step we will be performing here is the wiring hole closeout installation. That will involve the removal of these two push fasteners, removal of the mid undertail, and then reassembly. Push in the centers, pull the fasteners out, reset them to a state that they can be reused in. Now this panel has two interference window locks here. Just needs to be pulled towards the rear, exposing this detail. Our little closeout here does have some hole centers. That's for the use with different equipment where you will be running wires through here. So for this installation, we will leave it untouched. We do have this fork looking layout here. So the drill centers towards the top, smooth with bump out towards the bottom. The fork area engages here with this window, and then you press it down and re-engage on the taillight, reinstall our fasteners. Simple as that. Next, we will need to get our main closeouts installed. These install in place of where the fender was located. We'll go one at a time. We will reuse the fasteners that came out of the fender. These have the same thread. So we will place these with the hole towards the rear of the bike and TST Industries iconography towards the front. The threaded bosses will go on the inboard side of the subframe. We will align this with the threaded holes and engage those threads by hand. And we'll repeat the step on the other side. Now using that 12mm socket, I will tighten these up. If you want to torque these torque spec would be 18 foot-pounds. All right, we're looking good. Now let's go on to the license plate bracket. The license plate bracket kit arrives to you with the bracket itself, 2 baggies of hardware. One of the baggies is the low profile license plate mounting kit. Here you see we've chosen silver. These are available in several different anodized colors. We chose silver because it goes nicely with this theme, but you will choose that while shopping to best match your vehicle. The other baggie has all of our installation hardware in here. We have 2 zip ties, 2 well nuts, finishing washer set, and also a screw set. The zip ties are for the purpose of running a license plate light if that is what you're going to do. For this installation, I will show you how to route and install a license plate light. Just note that this is a separate component. In our store, not everybody chooses to buy that particular license plate light, so we keep it as a separate unit. We will pre-configure our zip ties here for running the license plate light wire a little bit later. I keep them loose like this. I cinch them up later. All right, now this is ready to go. I just wanted to show you off the bike how it mounts before we get in there and I have a tighter space and I could not demonstrate as well. These tabs will fit in through these slots here. Once they penetrate through and you seat it all the way down, you will plunge a well nut into each one of these holes, and then we will configure a finishing washer and a screw like so. The countersink on the screw fits into the countersunk portion of the washer and it becomes flat. This gets engaged, and then as you tighten this down, the well nut mushrooms and keeps your whole assembly in place, and it makes a very nice, easy installation. So let's go ahead and tab this in. Make sure that it's seated all the way, and that is. I'm gonna get my well nuts in now. They require a little manipulation to clear everything that's behind it. Gonna get a better grasp on it once the screw is in. Now I'm going to grab a 3mm Allen. Here I'm holding an Allen socket. This area is pretty tight, so this is a lot easier to work with. Now the key here is to preload that rubber element without overstressing it. So once you feel resistance and the fastener is no longer wiggling around, that will be the end of the fastening. All right, good to go. I have grabbed myself a license plate light kit. This is our low profile license plate. It comes with the lamp and also posi tap connectors. First, let's take care of routing and then we'll talk about connection. Our license plate light is made to go up above the license plate bracket. There's a notch here that indicates where the wires should be placed. Sits like this. Now the license plate itself will clamp it against the bracket. You can choose to take off the red masking here and use the double stick tape. In our installation, I will be leaving that in place. The wire should go through these 2 cable management zip ties that I've put in. All right, now it's a matter of just routing under and to the top of this black panel here. I will need to temporarily space this undertail panel away from the sub tray. You could use either a small flathead screwdriver or a pick like I'm doing here. That'll create just enough of a gap to go up through here and off to the side. Need to make sure that we have appropriate placement here. Cinch down those zip ties just a little bit more. Want to leave enough room for that wire to still pass through there in case you need to make some small adjustments. All right, now this wire will have to go up towards the top here and then get passed in through here and up above this area. There's a perfect gap for it there. And it exits roughly where the OEM wiring came out. As you can see, we got the wire back out through the same area that OEM wires come out of. I'm just gonna route it like the OEM wires were routed into this cable management clip here. Make sure I've taken up enough slack here. Okay, now our license plate light connection on this bike is right here. We can pull up on here and gain access to this connector. I'm going to slice this tape off. I'm going to give you guys several choices on how to make this connection so that if you don't like slicing the tape off, you can forgo that step. You have a black wire here and a brown with a red trace. Connection here would require using our posi tap connectors, getting them on each one of these wires and connecting red to brown red and black to black here. Now another option is to grab the OEM Fender and slice off the receiving plug here. I know most guys out there will not be reusing that Fender or the lighting equipment on it, so reusing some of that for ease of installation, having a plug-and-play kit here is a pretty nice upgrade. So I would advise that would be the better way to connect to here. There's another way where you can take away some of the wire sheathing here and connect to this brown, red, and black here. Now for simplicity's sake, I will just pull back on the tape here and perform the installation right here. I will stagger the placement of my connectors because if I don't, they will bulk up. If you just place them right next to each other, they bulk up. So I'm gonna place one here and one here. Larger cap comes off. It exposes a slit that the wire being connected to is passed into. Then you thread this back on and the little piercing element here will make the connection for you. Once you get that to the bottom, you just give it a quarter turn and that's it. You don't want to mash that wire too much. Repeat the step on the ground wire. All right, so now we've made the connection into the harness. We'll be connecting into the top portion here. The smaller cap needs to come off. Now be very careful when you do this. These things are small and sometimes if you drop them, it's a pain in the butt to find them in here. So it's a good tip to work on top of a tray or something like that. I'm gonna go with the black first. Get the black wire, stick it through the unthreaded portion, make sure that it protrudes past the threaded portion a little bit. Get that in here. Start threading it up while maintaining positive pressure of the wire into the cap. So as you're turning it in, make sure you're pressing it in a little bit. Once you get this cap to the bottom, it should clamp everything in place. Give it a little tug test, good to go. And repeat the steps on the red wire. Give it a tug test again. All right, let's power up the bike and see if the license plate comes on. And in fact, we do have power to the license plate light. Good to go. I'm gonna place this back in here. get my routing figured out. I do have a little bit extra wire bulk, and I want to be out of the way of these signal connectors for subsequent installations that we'll be doing. So I'm going to bundle up this wire underneath these harness components and then place this down. Okay, so I have good bulk distribution. My wires are routed around all this stuff. Nice. Let's go ahead and start replacing some of the fairing components. The reinstallation of our tail components is basically the reverse order of disassembly. However, it is a little bit more tricky to get it just right. With all of these components here, we've designed a little holding shelf up above the outer surface here that will have to engage with this area just right. So let me show you how to do that, what the sequence is. This tab first needs to get in here under the tail light. Then you need to preserve enough space back here to still be able to get this clip inside this window while getting this fastener eye up on top here. So it's all sort of like a sequence. You get it all in one like this and rotate down. Then this needs to go up above the aluminum piece that we've provided you with. And then it's just a matter of making sure all of these components just snap together just like that. Please check the gap here. I've seen on several attempts at installing these components, this produces a gap because there are some misalignments in there. So make sure you align it first, and then we could go ahead and grab the quarter turn fasteners and get those in so that our piece is self-captive as we replace all the other components. Here I'm just engaging the threads by hand first, and we will follow up with tools later. These shoulder screws go in this location, and this location. The ones without shoulders go here and here. Now I'm just going to tighten all the fasteners down with a tool. Now we have that center panel that came out of here. It does have two tabs that need to go into these windows here under the painted plastic. So we just need to align everything so that they slide in. The rear interference locks tab into their windows, and now our holes align up top. We reinsert and lock the push fasteners, and that's ready to go here. I'm going to replace the seats. Now on our closeout, we do have a hole in each to permit the installation of a high mount fender eliminator. Obviously here we have a low mount fender eliminator license plate bracket, so these are unused and we don't want to leave them unfilled, so we do ship these with these push pins. They do just press in. All right, that's looking good. All the edges aligned, gaps are even, beautiful. Now let's grab the license plate. We're going to forego the hardware that we took off the bike, and we're going to use the hardware that came with our kit. This is comprised of a countersunk screw, anodized washer, and then a flange nut for the back side of it. Flange nut takes an 8mm box wrench or open-ended wrench, and this screw head takes a 3mm Allen. I'm going to pre-configure my hardware here, get it ready for insertion. There is a slot in between the lens and the tab coming off the license plate light. That is where your license plate goes. I'm going to go close to the bottom, but leave a little bit of adjustability. That's looking good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cinch down on the wiring all the way on those zip ties, making sure it's kept in place once it's to my liking, and then snip off the excess of the zip tie. Now it's just a matter of tightening this up while making sure that it's level, everything's centered. All right, and that'll be that for the process. One more test to make sure the license plate light works, and it does. So we are good to go here. This installation is complete.
There you have it. Just like that, you're able to lose some weight, streamline the rear end of your 2024 and up Yamaha MT-09 while retaining some important functions. Now, as mentioned in the intro, by removing your OEM Fender, you do lose your OEM signal mounts, your signals, and your license plate light. But as Bart just showed in the installation process, you are able to mount our universal license plate light. And when it comes to signal options, we will have a separate video available for you that will cover all of the rear turn signal options available for the 4th generation Yamaha MT-09. I want to give a special thank you to Bart for guiding us through the installation process. It's always nice to have him on camera. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're interested in this product, you want to see this exact kit and find out more details, or see what else we have available for your 2024 and up Yamaha MT-09, please be sure to hit the link in the description or visit our website, tstindustries.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you just want to say, hey, let us know where you're watching from, please feel free to do so in the comment field below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with all the new and exciting videos we've got going on. And lastly, as always, please be sure to stop by our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all username TST Industries. For now, this has been Mark and Bart in the TST Garage, and we will catch you next time. Ride safe.